Good evening and welcome to Vision of Asia, the news you can trust and events that move and celebrate our very own South Asian community. I'm Nidhi Kathuria coming to you from our ITV Gold studio in New Jersey. In the headlines today, Indian student killed in Ukraine. 2 years after world's biggest lockdown, India surges back to normal life. Our feature stories on a British Sikh army officer who's the first woman of color to ski solo to South Pole. Shah Rukh Khan announces release date for much-awaited film Pathaan, produced by Yash Raj Films. Stay with us on Vision of Asia for news in detail right after this short break. An Indian student was killed by shelling in the eastern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv on Tuesday, prompting New Delhi to step up demands for safe passage to evacuate thousands of its nationals trapped in the war zone. Invading Russian forces are trying to lay siege to Kharkiv, firing volleys of artillery that have killed civilians, including children, Ukrainian officials say. Before the conflict began, Indians made up around a quarter of the 76,000 foreign students in Ukraine, by far the largest number according to Ukrainian government data. Despite scoring 97% in PUC, my son could not secure a medical seat in state. To get a medical seat, one has to give crores of rupees, and students are getting the same education abroad, spending less money, says father of Naveen Shekharappa, an Indian student who died in shelling in Ukraine. In a lie of Russia, India has not condemned Moscow's invasion of Ukraine, instead calling for both sides to cease violence. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov on Tuesday dismissed allegations of Russian strikes on civilian targets and said reports of the use of cluster and vacuum bombs were fake. He categorically denied that Russia had committed war crimes, Peskov said, without providing evidence that Ukrainian nationalist groups were using Indian students as human shields. African students fleeing Ukraine say they face segregation, racism at the border. A spokesperson for South Africa's foreign ministry said on Sunday that a group of its nationals and other Africans were being treated badly at the Polish-Ukrainian border. The Nigerian government also expressed concerns over reports of discriminatory behavior, including a video widely shared on social media showing a Nigerian woman with her young baby being forcibly made to give up her seat to another person.
These are the black community here. We are not allowing any black people to enter inside the gates. We are all here. It's only Ukrainians that they are allowing in. Even the ones with kids, they're not allowing them in. Many have been here for days and nobody's asking any questions. Only Ukrainian women and kids they are allowing in through these gates. All the places is blocked and all are full of blacks from different communities, from different countries. Nobody's talking to us. These are the black community here. We are not allowing any black people to enter inside the gates. We are all here. It's only Ukrainians that they are allowing in. Even the ones with kids, they're not allowing them. Many have been here for days and nobody's asking any questions. Only Ukrainian women and kids they are allowing in through these gates. All the places is blocked and all are full of blacks from different different communities, from different countries. Nobody's talking to us.
India's opposition on Wednesday stepped up pressure on the government to condemn the Russian invasion of Ukraine a day after an Indian student died during shelling in the eastern city of Kharkiv. India is yet to criticize long-standing arms supplier Russia publicly, instead urging both sides to cease hostilities, causing frustration amongst its other allies, including the United States. Thousands of Indian students remain trapped in Ukraine, leading to calls for the government to step up pressure on Russia to assist evacuation efforts. The government of India should stop its verbal balancing act and sternly demand that Russia stop immediately the bombing of key cities in Ukraine, said P. Chidambaram, a lawmaker from the opposition Congress party, in a tweet. Russia has long supported India internationally on critical issues, including Kashmir, a territory disputed between India, Pakistan, and China, as well as provided the bulk of its military capability. New Delhi has for decades attempted to lessen its reliance on Russia-made weapons while keeping the relationship close enough to avoid Moscow aligning more with rival Asian power China. India is increasingly uncomfortable with the position that Russia has taken, but it is very difficult for it to voice it in public, said Harsh Pant, a defense and geopolitical analyst at the New Delhi-based Observer Research Foundation. Some 60% of India's military hardware is still Russian-made, Pant said, and a relationship with Moscow is essential to maintain equipment and source spare parts. Almost 2 years after India went into the world's biggest lockdown to slow the spread of COVID-19, students headed back to school in Maharashtra state on Wednesday, a sign of normal life resuming as infection rate fall. Almost 2 years after India went into the world's biggest lockdown to slow the spread of COVID-19, students headed back to school in Maharashtra state on Wednesday, a sign of normal life resuming as infection rate falls. India's Delhi coronavirus infections rose by less than 10,000 for a third straight day on Wednesday, a level last seen in late December before the rapid spread of the Omicron variant, data from the Health Ministry showed. Last week, Maharashtra State Minister Aditya Thackeray said schools in the state's largest city, Mumbai, would resume pre-COVID attendance, reinstating all activities in view of declining cases. Essentially, it is more to do with the kind of severity India has seen both among adults and children infected with the Omicron variant, said Uma Chandramouli Nachu, a professor of infectious diseases at St. John's Research Institute in Bengaluru. India has fully vaccinated more than 765 million of its 940 million adult population and about 28 million teenagers aged 15 to 18, but has not started vaccinating children younger than 15. In Prime Minister Narendra Modi's home state of Gujarat, bazaars were back in full swing after a long hiatus. Patrons streamed in to enjoy dinner and late-night snack following the lifting of a curfew last week at Ahmedabad's popular Manik Chowk, a market that transforms into a hawker center after dusk. Roads and trains are once again congested as people return to offices. Movie theaters are reporting a surge in foot traffic, and in the city of Gurugram, near the capital New Delhi, restaurants and gaming parlors are packed. Families participated in Mahapuja, seeking the blessings of Lord Shiva on the auspicious day of Mahashivratri last Tuesday at the Hindu Center in Flushing, New York. Let's watch the highlights.
हैप्पी शिवरात्रि एवरीवन। गायत्री चेतना सेंटर से मैं प्रिस्ट शंभू महाराज बात कर रहा हूँ। आज महाशिवरात्रि का दिन है, पवित्र दिन है। आज सुबह से भाविक भक्तजनों सुबह से सर्व मनोकामना पूर्ण हेतु महादेव पर अभिषेक कर रहे हैं और शिवरात्रि का दिन क्या, शिवरात्रि के दिन महादेव तो बहुत भोले हैं, उन पर आप छोटा सा कलश में जल चढ़ा दो तो भी वो प्रसन्न हो जाते हैं। महादेव का पूजा का अर्थ क्या है? महादेवता पूजा करने से, अभिषेक करने से आपको महानता प्राप्त होती है। ऐसा नहीं है कि आप सभी, कुछ लोग त्रिपुण करके, भस्म लगा के, गले में रुद्र द्वारा करके भक्त बन जाते हैं, वो सब दिखावा है। महादेव का भक्त कैसा होना चाहिए कि उदारता, दया, श्रेष्ठता, सर्वश्रेष्ठता, वो सब होना चाहिए। महादेव की भक्ति से सर्व मनोकामना पूर्ण होती है। हैप्पी शिवरात्रि।
आज के पवित्र अवसर पर शिवरात्रि का दिन है। सभी को हर हर महादेव। इस मंदिर में जो भी आते हैं दर्शन करते हैं और महादेव के दर्शन से पावन कर हो जाते हैं और महादेव की महिमा बहुत बड़ी धन्यवाद होती है। हर हर महादेव।
Asian Indian Chamber of Commerce organized a networking event last Friday at Akbar Restaurant in New Jersey. The guest speaker, Nicholas G. Conte, spoke on the topic of forensic accounting and crypto taxation. Rajiv Krishna, who was recently elected as president of American Indian Chamber of Commerce, also shared his thoughts on the subject along with other prominent members of the organization. Let's watch the highlights.
Hi, my name is Rich Campanella. We did a presentation for the Chamber of Commerce today. It was a really great event. I hope it was very informative for everyone. We talked about forensic accounting. We met a lot of great people, business owners. Everybody's been very kind to us, and we really enjoyed the opportunity to speak in front of everyone.
Hi, ITV viewers and community members. My name is Rajiv. I am the new president of the Asian Indian Chamber of Commerce. I really would like to reach out to the whole community and the business people within our community to support us, be a part of the chamber. We have really exciting things going on in the chamber. Please come to our events. Please become a sponsor. Please become a corporate member. Go to our website, aicc.net. I'm really looking forward to your support, and hopefully together we can make this a great chamber. We had over 50 people attend today's event. We have a total membership of over 200 people, lots of life members, and we're looking to grow our membership to 500. Thank you.
A ghazal night Sham-e-Gana with ghazals from Jagjit Singh, Chitra Sen, Talat Aziz, Pankaj Udas was organized by Sur Se Seva, an organization that empowers talents and employs art to unite and serve the community last Saturday at Royal Grand Manor in New Jersey. Well-known ghazal singers Rantik Parekh and Dr. Smita Ori sung the famous compositions. MC of the show was Jayesh Mehta of Om Events, and the introduction was done by Radio Guru Kulraj Anand. Grand finale was by distinguished singer Ali A.Z.
a dream come true. I always wanted to sing with live musicians, and it was a good opportunity. It was a wonderful program, and I'm so glad everybody came and enjoyed it. That is most important thing, that everybody enjoyed it. My music journey has been forever. Since childhood, I like music and I enjoy music. But since last 1.5 years, I picked up the microphone really and started singing. And after that, there was no going back. It's just brought so much of positive energy in my life that I just cannot even describe. And because of that, then I thought about that, why can't I share it with others and encourage them and help them to make them realize how beautiful it is. So that's why we started the SEVA Foundation, and our goal is to empower all forms of art, not only just music, but dancing, poetry, painting, and encourage local talent and help them to strengthen them and help each other to grow.
I just want to introduce myself. I'm one of the main lead singers here. I'm Dr. Smita Ohri, and I have this is my first time that I'm doing concert with this kind of concert, and it's been a wonderful evening. And being a physician, I've never really had the time to spend time learning and singing. But music has been at my heart always. My mom, she was a classical singer. I used to grow up, get up in the morning. She would be playing tanpura and she would be practicing. She was also learned singing with Jagjit Singh and sang on Jalandhar radio. So music was always floating around in the household. And however, you know how it goes in India, if you're good in studies, your parents will tell you to go and, of course, study, concentrate more on the books rather than something that's your passion. So now that I have, my practice is very stable and my kids have taken over, I have more time to pursue my passion. And this has been a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I'm thanking ITV to be here and covering us and encouraging this whole program. Thank you very much.
Preet Chandi took a selfie on the ceremonial South Pole after reaching the station after 40 days. The elusive white continent has been the fascination of many explorers since it was discovered in 1820. The majority of people who have explored Antarctica have been white, starting with Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen, who completed the first recorded expedition to the South Pole in 1911. But 33 years ago, on 17 January 1989, Colonel J.K. Bajaj, SM, VSM, FRGS became the first Indian, indeed, first Asian to ski to the South Pole, together as the first international overland expedition team of 9 members from 5 countries. And now, a 32-year-old British Indian Army officer, Preet Chandi, has become the first woman of color on record to complete a solo expedition to the South Pole. Antarctica was more than just a dream expedition for me. It was about showing that anyone can do anything, irrespective of their gender, background, or the community they belong to, she says. Chandi completed the 700-mile expedition in January in 40 days, 8 days ahead of her goal, but the journey to get there and break barriers were long. Chandi completed the 700-mile expedition in January in 40 days, 8 days ahead of her goal, but the journey to get there and break barriers was long. In early 2020, she began preparing for Antarctica, starting with a polo training course in Norway that taught her the survival basics: how to set up a tent, melt snow, and cook in extreme conditions. Back in the United Kingdom, she trained 6 days a week, dragging tires, which was the closest to pulling a sled. Her first real expedition took her to Greenland in August of 2020, which showed her what to expect in Antarctica. She put her life savings into the trip. When she did reach the ice cap, she was stuck in a storm for 6 days, shoveling snow on her hands and knees and rationing fuel. Audiobooks, written messages inside her tent, and voice notes from friends and family downloaded on her phone kept her going throughout the journey. Chandi was born to Indian parents in Derby, England. Her father moved to the country as a 20-something from the state of Uttar Pradesh in northern India. Her mother is a second-generation immigrant whose parents came to England from Punjab. Watch the review of Amitabh Bachchan's film Chunt by none other than Amir Khan from his own home theatre.
What a film! It touches your heart. My God, बहुत ही बेहतरीन फिल्म है. I think ये प्राइवेट स्क्रीन में फर्स्ट टाइम स्टैंडिंग ओवेशन हुआ है. मेरे को कोई अल्फाज नहीं बोलेगी. जो आपने इंडिया के मतलब लड़के लड़कियां उनका जो इमोशन जो पकड़ा है ना स्पिरिट अनबिलीवेबल. एंड दोस चिल्ड्रन बच्चों ने जो काम किया
तो क्या फुरफुर कर रहा है इधर का खजाना वजाना गाड़ा है क्या?
उनके क्या घर में घुस के मारना है क्या?
वही मैं बोल रहा.
पैसे दे नहीं तो लुढ़क लुढ़क जाएंगे तू.
अक्षर क्या फिल्म बन गई है यार. इट्स अ फैंटास्टिक फिल्म. इट्स अनबिलीवेबल. इट्स वेरी यूनिक. पता नहीं कैसे बन गई थी. जो स्पिरिट कैच किया है वो लॉजिक से नहीं आता. जो भी इसने किया उसका एंड रिजल्ट ये आता है कि मैं एक स्पिरिट के साथ उठता हूँ और ये फिल्म मेरे को छोड़ नहीं सकती. I don't have words because it's a very surprising film. It just breaks all the जितने हम लोग फिल्मों में हम लोग को जो कुछ हम लोगों ने सीखा है 30 साल में वो सब उसका फुटबॉल बना दिया. बच्चन साहब ने क्या काम किया है. देखो बच्चन साहब ने एक से एक फिल्म की है अपने करियर में. He's done great films, but this is one of his best films. उनकी सबसे मतलब one of his greatest films.
आप कहते हैं कि ये झुंड है. झुंड. मैं कहता हूं कि ये हमारी नेशनल फुटबॉल टीम है.
And that's a wrap on Vision of Asia tonight. Send us your suggestions and community news that you would like us to cover for our print and television coverage at events@itvgold.com. Follow us on our Facebook handle at itvgold, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and pick up a free copy of Desi Talk if you're in the tri-state or in the Chicago area for community news, entertainment, and events in US and India. You can also read the News India Times newspaper online at www.newsindiatimes.com or subscribe to the hard copy by calling 212-675-7515. This is Nadi Katuria signing off.